Get woke, go broke? Well, they're not broke, but this is costing them a lot of money. So money is not the agenda over at the board of directors at Netflix, which is served on by Barack Obama, I think his wife, and also Susan Rice. The political weirdness is getting really, really weird. It's weirder than we thought it would get. But keep this in mind. None of what these guys do is about money. It's about power. They don't care about money anymore. They have access to enough money. Wherever they get their money from, they got it. It's not about money. It's about weird power. And one of their agendas is tied up in Cuties. So you were probably wondering, as was I, like, what would be the effect on Netflix? Would it affect their stock? Would it affect subscribers leaving the channel? Well, so this is a report from Hollywood Reporter. It has affected subscribers quite a bit. And some numbers are in, and apparently there's an estimate that 50% of their subscriber growth will be cut. So they're cutting it in half to 2.5 million for what would otherwise be 5 million subscribers. So take their number in terms of what their annual subscriber revenue is. What's a year's worth of Netflix times 2.5 million just for this one quarter, which is the third quarter. So just for a 3-month period, it's 2.5 million less subscribers. It's a lot of money. It adds up, and they could care less because they're not about money. They're not about it. So let's get into this article from Hollywood Reporter. Before we do, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications because it helps the algorithm and it helps me keep making more of these videos. So Netflix analyst cut subscriber forecast on flash in the pan, as he calls it, Cuties controversy. Well, but know this much. There will be more controversies coming out of Netflix. Why? Because they're trying to push the culture. That's the agenda. Change the culture into weird stuff. So they're going to keep doing more. That said, Netflix is an amazing company in terms of how they grow, and how much business they've done and how much distribution they have internationally, direct to consumer. So they do have a lot of influence, but they're also an odd company just as a business because the way they're set up is weird. They only distribute just through direct to consumer subscriptions. That has not worked for any media ever, whether it was Blockbuster Video, who used to really, control the secondary market for movies through their video rentals. Like it just doesn't work, as opposed to a company like Disney that they distribute their movies and their content in multiple ways, and obviously had a huge breakout success with Disney Plus. So Netflix is just getting weirder and weirder as time goes on. Wells Fargo, Stephen Cahall reduces his third quarter forecast by 50%, citing a likely brief impact in U.S. and Canada. Okay. Netflix could see its third quarter streaming subscriber growth hit by the controversy around Cuties. Wells Fargo analyst Stephen Cahall wrote in a Tuesday report cutting his subscriber forecast for the period in half to 2.5 million, with the full impact modeled to come in the U.S. and Canada. So that 2.5 million, how big is half of a drop-off from what they were expecting? Half is a lot. It means people see Netflix, they think, ew, and they go the other direction. That's bad. That's not good for momentum for the company. If they don't do more weird stuff like this movie, they will probably be fine. If they continue to do weird stuff like this movie, they will kind of be fine. But you got to get away from this. This is not healthy, and you can tell there's no financial reason to do this movie. This is all weird culture power nonsense. And culture power, it may make strange people feel good, but it's not going to make money. It's not about money. It's not about making money. He now forecasts Netflix will lose 2 million in the U.S. and Canada subscribers, in the quarter ending Wednesday, compared with the previous estimate of a 500,000 gain. Okay, that's even more substantial. So they expected to gain 500,000 subscribers. They're going to lose 2 million. That's the upside down 2.5 million. Well, that's much worse. They didn't lose half their gain. They lost all of their gain and another 2 million they already had because it's creepy and evil. People don't want this. Arguing that this region bears the brunt of the Cuties detractors. But he also emphasized, we think the current controversy and elevated churn is essentially a flash in the pan for Netflix. Yeah, as long as they don't continue to do maniacal things like push weird cultural things that people feel like creepy having it. I mean, what if you have this on your, access to this on your subscription, and then your kids that you might not want to have see this, see it? Like, so then you're going to cancel the service just in fear of that happening. Even if you don't have a problem with this per se, you're like, I don't like it, I don't care. It's like, yeah, but you don't want people discovering it on your system, on your subscription. All right, anyways. But he also emphasized, okay, he thinks it's a flash in the pan. Good for him. He's wrong. This is a really weird, bad thing. All right, in his report, he detailed the math behind his assumptions. If we're to believe reports that Netflix faced a short-lived but potentially stark churn uptick in September due to controversy around Cuties, he said. We think this could weigh more heavily on the third quarter net adds than investors realize, so we reduced our estimate for global streaming net adds. Given how strong Netflix is as a service, we're loath to get too negative, but our churn analysis does imply some meaningful pressure. It does make you question, though, the fundamentals of what the F are the leadership of Netflix thinking to do something like this. It just doesn't make sense. It means they're not a business. They're a cultural phenomenon. Kahal highlighted that typically Netflix monthly churn is impressively low at 3.5 to 4%. What is monthly churn? Those are people canceling their subscriptions. But he said that reports of the Yip data, these data figures are excellent, like Yipit data and things like that. They specialize in figuring out, like, well, even though the company's not reporting it, what's actually going on, they put a lot of work into it, and their numbers are usually very good, which suggested monthly subscriber churn might have reached levels that were some 8 times August churn rate. Okay, wow. So that could be up to 30%? I mean, 20 to 30% of people dropping the channel have meaningfully contributed to Netflix recent the average churn, people dropping it, have meaningfully contributed to Netflix's recent stock slide. Yeah, I would think. If we assume that churn increased 5 times for a single week due to Cuties, it implies 28 million deactivations in the third quarter. Good Lord. 28 million deactivations? Was it worth it? Ask the board of directors. How do they defend doing this movie? I don't know how they defend this. Just culturally, it's insane. And financially, like, who makes money on this? But they're not about making money. They're about totalitarian control and putting weird stuff into the culture. Stay away from this creepiness. It's just so creepy. We're not sure that gross ads will be up sequentially, given the first and second quarter of 2020 likely benefited from lockdowns and the lack of live content elsewhere. As such, our churn sensitivity analysts suggest negative net adds are a possibility, especially if churn exceeded 5%. But he said he was not, quote, ready to go overboard, but if the churn is up and gross ads are down, this is likely to mean that the third quarter will be modest for subs. Keep in mind, a lot of the growth for Netflix, I just know that's from alternative research, a lot of the growth from Netflix is global subs. And a lot of those global subs, while they're cheaper to acquire, they don't produce as much revenue. It's like you're not going to make as much money on a subscription in a country where the minimum wage is $1 an hour or less as you are in the United States because they can't charge the same. The acclaimed French film... Okay. While hashtag cancel Netflix initially trended on Twitter, one recent survey found that the controversy led some subscribers to watch Cuties. A majority of viewers watching the film over September 18th to 20th said they did so because of the controversy. Yeah, controversy can make people want to check stuff out because at least if people are talking about it, hey, they'll check it out. But once they check it out, like, something's not right with these people. But a lot of people dropped. 28 million people dropping. Could you imagine? The acclaimed French film directed by Dos Corrier, is a coming-of-age story about an 11-year-old girl. Okay, you know what the movie's about. I don't want to talk about it. It's very, very creepy. Try to focus on companies, if you're interested in companies, entertainment companies, people that are looking to make good content that people actually want. Not have these weird agendas with which pushing content. This is a company that's very unhealthy for them to do this. It means they've kind of have control of, someone's got control of them, something's got control of them. Because even if you liked this movie, and there's something wrong with you if you did, there's no financial reason to go ahead and produce a movie like this and lose 28 million subscribers. It should have been pulled as soon as cancel Netflix hashtag was around. You immediately pull it, you bring in crisis public relations people, and you correct the problem by not ever doing anything stupid like this again until someone else does it first. They're not getting subscribers off this. All they do is they're becoming a little bit more evil, which is not what anybody should want. All right, put in the comments below, did you think they might lose as many as 28 million subscribers over this? Do you think it's a dopey business decision? I certainly do. But tell me what you think. Also, if you want to support my work, check out collegeofthedead.com graduation day. At collegeofthedead.com, you can get a copy of College of the Dead Graduation Day. It's my ongoing zombie apocalypse series. I'm really proud of it. I love how it came out. It's really cool. It's college students that are having to deal with a zombie apocalypse. It's very well written. The art is fantastic. And it's in color, and it ships immediately. There's also a black and white prequel that came before. There's great continuity to the storytelling. And we have the new one coming out soon, College of the Dead Spring Break. Also, check out epicmermaids.com so you can get an email for the mermaids. Sign up to the email list. I don't send a lot of emails. I'm just going to send you one or two letting you know when the Mermaids launches. It's an ongoing full-color graphic novel series, and it's kind of like Game of Thrones with mermaids. It's already done. It's very well written, and it's a whole like mini universe of mermaids characters in that very cool medievalish kind of setting. It's very, very cool. I really spent a lot of time and energy on this one. I think you're going to really like it. All right, I will see you again soon with another video, and if I don't see you, I will miss you.